What's going on, guys? I'm IcyRhythms. Welcome back to another video. And in this one, we're going to talk about The Division versus The Division 2. And we need to make it clear, right? We need to make it clear that I don't think The Division 2 is a bad-looking game. I think it's a pretty good-looking game for what it is. But I don't know how this happens, because what happens with a company like Ubisoft is they'll make a couple of really awesome games, and then they'll have just a couple of kind of okay games and maybe even a really bad one, and then they'll go back to making another great game or two, and then stuff like this somewhere in between all of that will happen, where the Division 1 looks so much better than the sequel. And I just, at this point in the generation, in 2019, I just don't know how you release a game like this and it look worse than the game that came before it. Now, I know a lot of people still want to talk about that original Division downgrade, and while I think there is a downgrade there, the Division 1 is still a really good looking game. It's still very, very impressive, especially if you're playing the PC version and you can play this thing at 60 frames, 100 frames, or 200 if that's even possible, somewhat consistently. 4K 30, 4K 60, 4K 80, something like that. A game like this is that impressive. And again, I think the second game looks pretty good, and the gameplay feels better than the first game, which is very, very important. But there is a massive downgrade here. I mean, look at some of the comparisons that I'm showing you. It is, to me, it's more than 100% clear. It is more than crystal that one game looks better than the other. I mean, I'm just, I think about things 10 years ago, even 10 years ago. That's how far back we can go. We can go back even more than that, but thinking about the original Uncharted and then the move to Uncharted 2, like how much of a difference in overall visual quality and just presentation in general, like such a big change. And that's what I was expecting with a game like The Division 2, because I really thought the first game was of a high quality, especially when it comes to the visuals and overall presentation of the game. And what I'm seeing with The Division 2 is a game that looks pretty good, but I'm not nearly as impressed. I can play the Division 1 right now and still be blown away. There is a very clear difference, and I think it's pretty unacceptable. Not even saying I'm not going to buy it at some point, because I probably will. I think I have 140, 150 hours, something like that, in the first game. So I will definitely still buy the Division 2 at some point. But man, can we even get like some cool weather effects? I mean, this is one of the best new engines that we've seen for this generation, and it just, with this game, the Division 2, it doesn't feel like they're taking full advantage of the PS4 Pro, the Xbox One X, certainly not the PC. And that's another thing that I need to mention. I can't really speak to the console versions, but this one not only looks worse, it runs worse. And I know a lot of people will say, oh, it's beta, we don't have official drivers yet, but let's be honest, this game will probably run a little bit better 6 months to a year down the road, after there are official drivers and they've patched it 4 or 5 times. You just got to be honest with yourself. I mean, this so-called beta, is probably near final code for the game. So I'm not trying to hear any excuses. One game just looks better than the other, and that game is the Division 1, and these comparisons, at least for me, show that. And again, like I said, it's more than crystal. What do you guys think? Which one of these games looks better for you? Maybe I just need to see more areas in the Division 2, but I don't know, man. I don't know if that's going to change anything. I got a pretty nice PC, and I'm not nearly as impressed. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments section. Thank you guys very much for watching, all of the continued support. If you missed my last video about OBS, recording, streaming, NVENC on new RTX cards, make sure you go and check that out. Video before that, I believe, is my Red Dead Redemption 2 review. Make sure you go and check that out as well. That really helps me out a lot. Thank you guys very much, man. You guys have a good one. Peace.